Good morning, students. This is your English class, class 12. Today we are going to take up the new topic, that is the third level, a story written by Jack Finney. This is your lesson number 1 from your book Vistas. And today in this video we are going to take up introduction of the lesson and the summary of the lesson. This is the first video of this lesson. Students, the lesson, the third level, deals with a commuter who manages himself to be at the third level of the Grand Central Railway Station. In reality, there are only 2 levels of this station in New York. The third level of the station is the creation of the commuter's imagination. The story is replete with fantasy. It means the story is full of imagination and fantasy. The narrator makes the third level and the journey back in time a medium of escape. It means the narrator travels back in time because he is running away from something. What something? We will get to know when we are going to take up the story in detail. The story is left open-ended. Open-ended, it means it is up to the readers to decide whether the story is a piece of fantasy or it has some reality in it. So, the story is left open-ended as the author makes the narrator's psychiatrist friend, who diagnosed that it was a waking dream wish fulfillment, also travel back in time. It means narrator travels back in time. His friend also travels back in time. Students, now we are going to take up the summary of the lesson, the third level. The narrator, Charlie, reveals that he has been to the third level at the Grand Central Railway Station, New York. He admits that although the station has only 2 levels, yet he feels that there is also a third one. When he tells his psychiatrist friend Sam Wiener about this, the friend diagnoses it as a waking dream wish fulfillment. He explains that it is the outcome of every modern man's wish to escape from the insecurities, fears, and frustrations of modern life. Sam also terms Charlie's hobby of stamp collection as an escape mechanism. But Charlie does not believe this because his grandfather too pursued philately. Students, philately means collection of stamps as a hobby. The old man is the grandfather of Charlie. The old man had no worries and lived a peaceful life from which he did not need to escape. Describing the day when he strayed to the third level at the station, Charlie tells that he had worked till late one summer night in office. He was keen to get back home to his wife Louisa, and he hurried to board a train at the second level. He rushed down to the second level and lost way when he crossed the arched doorway that led to the subway. He felt that the Grand Central was like a tree that keeps growing new corridors and stairs similar to the branches and offshoots. Continuing his search for the train that would take him home, Charlie walked down a corridor, hearing the empty sound of his own footsteps. Suddenly, he found himself on the third level. This place had smaller rooms, fewer ticket windows, and open flame gas lights. The old world charm of the 19th century was visible in the manner of the dressing adopted by the people on this third level. To confirm his observation, Charlie spotted a newspaper, The World, that carried a lead story about President Cleveland, the Premier of US, in the late 19th century. Charlie also noted that the newspaper was dated June 11, 1894. He then proceeded to the ticket window and asked for 2 tickets to Galesburg, Illinois, a place where he grew up as a schoolboy. He wished to return to the peaceful life in that place along with his wife. The thought that returning to 1894 would keep him away 20 years from the First World War and 40 years away from the Second World War thrills Charlie. But the currency that he offers to pay for the tickets is not accepted and is threatened by the clerk at the window for trying to cheat. Charlie beats a hasty retreat on return to 20th century. He prepares to arrange the currency that was used in the late 19th century. He withdraws $300 in old-style bills. Bills means notes. This worries his psychiatrist friend Sam, but Charlie does not share with him the idea that the exits of the Grand Central Railway Station actually lead to the escape routes, and he had been there. Charlie tries to return to the third level in order to board a train that would take him to Galesburg. However, all his efforts prove futile and he never finds the third level. He shares everything with his wife, who gets worried and dissuades Charlie to look any further. After that, he stops his search for the third level and resumes routine life along with collection of stamps. Towards the end, the story takes a turn and Charlie tells that he and his wife have started the search for third level again on weekends because they have found proof of its existence. Charlie's friend Sam's disappearance had made them believe that the third level exists. Charlie recalls that he had shared with Sam his experiences as a young boy in Galesburg, and impressed by those descriptions, Sam had found this place and escaped to it. At this point, Charlie discusses first-day covers and informs that stamp tickets increased in worth if they were posted on the day of their launch. Stamp collectors practice this exercise by putting blank letters inside self-addressed envelopes and affixing new stamps on it. They would then post it and keep it as treasures without opening the covers. Charlie discloses that he found one such first-day cover in his collection. It carried his grandfather's address in Galesburg and had a letter inside written by Sam. The letter was dated July 18, 1894. The 6-cent stamp on the cover bore the picture of President Garfield. Sam had confirmed the presence of third level in this letter and had invited both Charlie and Louisa to join him at Galesburg. He advised them to continue their search for the third level till they found it. Charlie tells a little more about Sam's disappearance by informing that Sam had bought $800 worth old-style currency a few days before disappearing. Charlie feels that since Sam cannot practice psychiatry in 1894, the money will be sufficient for setting up a little hay, feed and grain business. The ending of the story leaves the readers wondering whether Sam actually wrote a letter from Galesburg or it was yet another escape mechanism of Charlie. So students, we can conclude by saying that the story is a science fiction and is open-ended to allow the readers to believe either what Charlie thinks about Sam or What Sam thinks about Charlie's escapist attitude.